trauma doesn't represent the cause of all of your problems in your life. And furthermore, solving the trauma, healing the trauma, isn't going to fix everything that is wrong in your life. Hi, if you have no idea who I am, my name is Claudiu Manea. I'm a psychologist and a therapist, and for the past 10 years, I've been helping families get stronger together, men reclaim their place in their families and in the world, and businesses become inspired. So, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this subject of trauma because it's a very fashionable term these days. You know, just like in fashion, in psychology, in popular psychology, I should say, there are trends. So just like, let's say, cowboy boots are trendy these days, and they may become uncool 3 or 5 years from now. It's the same thing with terms from psychology, and these days it's trauma's turn to take the center stage and to become very fashionable. Everyone has traumas, and so on. And the only other term that is really fashionable these days is ADHD. So everyone has traumas and everyone has ADHD, and that's the culprit and the usual explanation that people go to whenever they want to explain their behavior away. So I think that this all started with that book from Gabor Mate about trauma, but I cannot be 100% certain of this. I'm just saying. But whether that's the case or not, the main problem is that while it is true that we all have traumas of some sort, we have traumas from our early childhood. We have traumas from our formative years. Almost all of us have traumas from high school. We have traumas that stem from our relationship with our parents, or lack of a relationship, from the relationship between the parents themselves, and so on. It's basically anything can be traumatic to someone according to their personality, to their life experience, to how they interpret things, and so on. And if you take things even a little bit further, the lack of trauma can be considered at times to be traumatic. So trauma is not really something that you can escape. It's a part of the human experience, and we all have to deal with trauma one way or another, to a degree according to our subjective experience. So I of course agree that some people have been much more traumatized than others. Some people have had really terrible childhood experiences, let's say, but the point is that everyone has traumas to a certain degree. However, when you go around explaining your behavior away by using trauma as a scapegoat, that's when things become problematic. Because let's say that you use your trauma to explain why you can't be bothered to keep a job, because you can't be bothered to sit at a desk for 8 hours per day because you were traumatized by being forced to sit in the classroom when you were a child. Or let's say that you explain you arguing with your husband or wife constantly over very trivial things, like, I don't know, he didn't or she didn't wash a plate like you were expecting him or her to do, and you go around explaining that behavior, saying that you do that because you're traumatized when as a child your mother was berating you for not washing the dishes like you should have, and there's that. It cannot be helped. It's just a trigger and it cannot be helped. Or you explain away you yelling at your children for every little thing by saying that you are traumatized because your parents yelled at you all throughout your childhood, and so on. That's when things become really problematic, because this is you victimizing yourself. It's victim mentality, and it's you using the trauma as a scapegoat, as a way of denying responsibility for your own actions and reactions. Okay, that's the problem. I'm not saying that you are not traumatized. You're probably traumatized, like we all are, but you are also an adult. You also have control over your reactions, and trauma isn't everything that you are. If you let it define all of who you are, you deny any responsibility for your actions, and you're basically refusing to change. And furthermore, if you're telling yourself that you are traumatized and you will get better and you will have different reactions when you heal the trauma, you're just fooling yourself. And for a number of reasons. But first of all, trauma doesn't get healed as easily as some people might have you believe. So it's not like you have childhood trauma and you're going to heal that trauma in a month, let's say. And then, yes, you're going to behave in the family, you're not going to yell at your children, you're not going to argue with your spouse, and so on. That's not how it works. Trauma might take you a year, might take you 5 years, might take you 10 years to heal and to really get past, okay? And what are you going to do in the meantime? You're going to continue to behave badly with your own family, expecting things to get better only when you deal with the trauma. But that's not how it works. You can, like I said, you can have a certain degree of control over your reactions. Sure, you might get frustrated at times. Some situations may act as triggers, of course, but just because something is a trigger, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are obligated to respond like you usually do. You have autonomy and you have the freedom to choose a different type of reaction. That is, if you do not let trauma become the explanation for why you can't do that and why you cannot change. So that's the main problem with trauma that I see. It's using it as a way of explaining the behavior away, and using it as an excuse not to change your behavior right now. It's a way of procrastinating, if you want, of delaying the things that you probably already know that you're supposed to be doing, like not yelling at your children all the time, not arguing with your spouse all the time, and it's delaying them indefinitely until the trauma gets resolved. And that trauma might actually never get resolved entirely. So Why would you put your family's happiness, your family's harmony, um, all on you healing your traumas eventually? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so that's what I had for you today. If you found it interesting, please don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post something new. In the description of this video, you will find resources to help you deal with whatever it is that you are dealing with right now, and not wait for the trauma to dissolve and all of that. Especially the first link is great for this. It's Reset 5. It's a way of reclaiming control over your emotional state and over your reactions in 5 minutes. Hence the name. So if you think that this might be helpful, click the link and see what it's all about. Whether you're going to use any of the resources or not, at least remember this: that trauma doesn't need to define who you are entirely, and trauma shouldn't and you shouldn't wait until you solve the trauma for you to behave differently and for you to react differently in different situations. So thank you for taking the time to listen to this, making it up until this point, and I hope you have a great day moving forward. Bye.